Okay, so what I want to talk about is awkward pauses and silences. So sometimes you may be in a conversation with a stranger, and it could be that, okay, you're not too sure, like, what should you say? Sometimes having a pause or a silence is great. Okay. You don't always have to you don't always have to be kind of chatting in a conversation. Do you know what I mean? And as well, sometimes when you're making a very powerful point, so say for example, you say, our team turned from 500,000 to 1 million on the year-end stats of selling lipstick, whatever it is. That would be a powerful point. So if we move from 500,000 to £1 million end of year sales, selling the brand new lipstick. And that would be a great way to kind of leave that as a pause or an underline. So like, this is an important part that I've just told you about. I hope you can still hear me. And so sometimes pauses, silences, etc., are needed, not just always chat, 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 chat. Even though I'm always saying talk, 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 but I'm saying also utilize pausing, silences as well. So sometimes you can often, if you're at a speed networking event, you know, in the face-to-face, when we go back outside of lockdown, sometimes it can be a bit hard to get away from someone. So sometimes you've got to kind of finish off the conversation by responding in silence. So when they're talking, just kind of, okay, okay. And then just, great, thanks so much for talking to me. And we will, I'm going to see who else is in the room. I really learned a lot from you. Kind of make your excuses and leave. Sometimes it's great to respond in silence when the person is really giving you a lot of information. So you don't always need to be asking questions, saying this, saying that. Sometimes you just need to respond in silence so you can hear and be fed more of the information. And as well, as I was saying, use pauses and silences. Pauses to obviously give yourself a breath, silences to underline a powerful point that you've just made. And sometimes as well, you can use silences to exit a conversation as well. It's not always the best way to do. You've got to kind of gauge it. Always be polite, whichever one you use. And I always remember when I was coming back on the plane, right, from New York City years ago, and I was sick like one dog. I had eaten ice cream, probably shouldn't have eaten it. My tummy was just like, do you know what I mean? And then a lady next to me, I remember her clear. She was a psychology PhD research student, fellow, whatever you want to call it. And she had said to me, oh, she just kept chatting about her studies, what she'd done, what she's going to do, all these things. And I was like, lady, I'm sick. I don't want to talk. And so I was just answering her in silence, trying to give her a little body language, like I don't want to talk no more. I don't feel well. But that is an example where I was just responding the conversation with silence because I was just too ill to talk. So you've got to be able to pick up on the response that people give you. So use pauses to catch your breath and use silences to underline very, very powerful points that you leave. Okay. So I'm going to leave it there for today's live class. And then we'll come back next week, Tuesday. All right. Make sure you can email me, get me on Instagram, etc. If you've got any questions in between.